Oseo.
Oseo.
That's a Cherokee greeting, and wave the great feather
We've heard this.
for the good of it. That is the way we summon all the beings and spirits that we wanted to be here with us. Last week, my my presentation, I was calling the Buffalo Culture. And in that, I also was able to present in northern Mexico, people there, conservationists, who are restoring not only the buffalo as the animal, but also the ecosystem in which that buffalo was originally, a part of that. And it also had a companion film with it. So that, with all of that, I am continuing, this time here with a particular focus. And this focus is actually going to be the skull of a buffalo, like that. And as you can look up here, and the Lakota name for that is, Patekapha Takuwakan, meaning the buffalo skull spirit. So that's what the focus is here. So that you can see all of this, how this comes in here. And to give it also some locale, here, if you're able to come over here and see this alongside of it here that I've mounted. This is a photograph that I've cut out from an old Arizona highways. And the photograph is by Jerry Jaka, who did a lot of the old photography for the magazine. And this one he photographed in South Dakota, which would mean that's the Ogala Oyate Pine Ridge Reservation. It's Lakota. And that 1968, I'm trying to remember that. So he photographed this skull there in 1968, and now it is here. How's it come to me? Somewhere between miracle and mystery, there's wonder. So we can have that here. And the notable feature of it, well, I should say first, the meaning for the buffalo skull, or just term it that way, for people who are both indebted and revered of the buffalo. There still is that culture. The buffalo acts as a symbolic link between us and the life-sustaining forces which are represented by the buffalo. And it seems to be a almost universal tradition, at least in Native America, that this linkage, this thing that connects us to what we're featuring here, has to be cleansed. Even in the Kauai out here, in the earliest incident of the Mukot, the deity who was coming into being, that total mysterious being, had to be cleansed in order to make his link, and the lizard was that link for him here. So I'm just putting all that in here. So when we burn sage, if we burn sage here, we would be also cleansing. The name for that is Wayaka. And the way that I'm doing it here with this feature, you can see here. This is sage. I regularly go up to Mount Laguna. It's the highest place around here in San Diego, 5,000 or 6,000 feet, I guess. And I harvest the sage. This is just a few days ago. And this is also the way that I'm cleansing. In other words, a ritual is a cleansing. So I harvest the sage and I renew the sage and put it in here. And that is my ritual to carry out the cleansing of this linkage to this great life force. That's the way I can put it here. Now we can see here painted on the face here, you see a zigzag. So this zigzag itself is a symbol for a lightning bolt. Yukakasana is what this is called. But it actually has a meaning. Wakandli hayakle, meaning the animal that this head belonged to has been struck by lightning. And that lightning has endowed this with a spiritual power, basically. That's how that means here. And that lightning comes from up there, Wakinyan. Wakinyan is the thunderbird. And his lightning bolt is called, Wakinyan Kanape here. And so this eagle feather, this a living eagle feather, is to stand for that thunderbird, coming down and making this it's all a symbol. It's all a symbol that this piece here has a spiritual power, the way we're thinking of that. So that's, pretty much the feature here. And I am happy to regularly harvest this sage from Mount Laguna. It's also exactly a place where Jack and I were up there, the only time we saw a black bear. And exactly ran across the road just about where I always harvest, this sage here. So that's our main focal point here. While we're here, you can look and see this feather. You got this feather here. This is from Pyramid Lake. Pyramid Lake, Nevada is my alma mater, for most sure. And this feather is from there. Claudia brought it back here. And there's a painting on it. And the painting on it, very fine painting, is a natural feature of rock that's called, the mother.
Stone mother.
Stone mother. It's a stone piece like that. She has a basket alongside of her. And the lore there is that her tears have made the lake, the Pyramid Lake here. So I definitely like to have that in here. I definitely respect that. Can kind of go over to the other side here. There you see a miniature buffalo skull. And I've made this in a version of the Navajo basket. It's called the Rockstar Crystal Basket, is the Navajo name for that. And the cotton here means that this is an offering. And the design that's inside of it are the mountains around Dinata. And I made little miniature mountain soil bundles. This is where I put them. There's 4 of them in there. And with this skull, which in particular I actually acquired from a woman who was selling some things out in Alcatillo in the desert out here. And so I kind of remember her in putting this together here. But you can put some staging in his mouth there. And we can come all the way over here to this beautiful portrait. Today is a very hot, humid day, summer day in Southern California. And here, this fellow here is standing somewhere out in a field that definitely looks like the summer. And alongside of it, I have these features I presented last week. This is a rattle with the buffalo toes. You can hear what there's a sound like. And alongside of it, this is the buffalo tail, used for making things sacred, or an aspergill, dipping in there. So you say that kind of thing like that. And then since we're right over here, can you just look right down here? These things here. These are 2 pipes. They're carved out of wood, and they both have a buffalo head on them. So we're bringing that in here. Then right here, we have this figure here. This fellow is holding up a buffalo skull, just like the one up here. It's called Yawankal. It's a ritual called lifting the head. And so that's what he's doing. So we do have a portrayal here, above here. Vivian, sent me this picture. Here we have a man, with full headdress of eagle feathers, and he's raising up the skull. So the ritual is, lifting the head. The portrayal is a little bit more, So in that portrayal there, it's called, the one called Oko Wazila, meaning always rising. And a really good illustration of that is to go all the way over there to the other side. Here. This is an artist's dramatic portrayal of that. Now, was called Oko Wazila, always rising. And the painting is named by Buck McCain, and he's titled it Invocation, the Invocation. But it's very dramatic, but does carry through the idea of the theme that we're talking about here. And if you just come right over next to him here, let's go to this buffalo here. This is an interesting folk piece here. And it actually, is something. It's Nawasrakia Bete, meaning the bristle buffalo. And what it signifies is that animals, evidently in certain instances, maybe when they're being confronted or deliberately confronting somebody, make their hair stand up to look bigger, or to say, I'm stronger. Igluasakia. So that's what he's saying. I make myself strong. And right above it here, now we have a picture. This is Navajo, and this is a person of buffaloes. Tua is the person, and the Pete Oyate of the buffalo people here. Now, the buffalo people, we have different ways of rendering this. The people called the Lakota, the Kalms of the Lakota, are also people who have come from the buffalo and are devoted to the buffalo. So they're buffalo people like that. Or there are the buffalo nation that the Americans did everything to rub out. Those are buffalo people here. So this one is very, very particular. One thing that he could be he or she. In Navajo, they're not consistent, but the square head could say that it's a she, one way or the other. But there's the hoop. The hoops that I presented before is the buffalo conveyance. They turn them on their side and they can transport themselves. So he's carrying the hoop. And then in his other hand, he has a buffalo rawhide rattle in Navajo style. Now, some of the Navajo ceremonies called chantways absolutely require the rattle be rawhide, especially buffalo rawhide. And right above it, I have two examples of Navajo-made buffalo rawhide rattles. So you can see how pervasive the buffalo culture actually is. Okay. Then we'll come over here to this one here. This is the pinion feather of a hawk that I've mounted into this buffalo horn. The feather longs toward the idea of good, and the horn, the buffalo horn, gives that feather its intention. That's the meaning for my symbol there. And I'm going to come all the way down here, way down here. This is Vivian Old's photograph from her portfolio of buffalo photographs. And this one is real particular. I chose it because we never get to see this. We never get to see, these buffalo creatures as they get old. And so it's evident he's lost most of his hair, mostly, but he's a white buffalo. And he's also the kind of coloration that the buffalo that I talked about last week came in my dream, was this kind of golden blonde. So here's this old fellow here as a white buffalo. So the white buffalo is real particular, sacred in some instances, and it figures very, very, very much throughout the Native American and especially Lakota culture. So right above it, I do have a toy white buffalo. Then we can just come right up here to another figure of the white buffalo. And right above it, this is a photograph also by Vivian Olds in Nevada. This buffalo, we were somewhere way up there in North California when we came upon this buffalo. There, I don't remember if there were other buffalo around, but where I saw this one, he was quite singular. And so we just spent some time with him. I don't know if him or her, I can't tell the difference, you know. Wonderful, touching photograph here. And another time we came back there and visited him again, or her again. I love the fur. I wonder why I didn't ask to have a handful of her fur. It looks so nice and handy there. And then we can come over here to this piece. You can look at this piece here. So it's called Inyan Washeshu Owen Shage. This is a spirit stone in the form of the buffalo. I can't remember the name of the stone, but it's real particular. It's just from one place. It's in eastern California. The way I remember it was east of Canyon Lake, I think it was. And I think it was in an area where Claudia and I had encountered the spotted eagle. And also, my impression is also in the vicinity where the famous Apache warrior, Geronimo, was actually born. And so the stone is the only place that this stone comes from here. And it's another one of these things as however it's come to me, here it is. Like that. So I just want to, if you can just focus here on the buffalo, here would be fine. The buffalo is the direct and all-present relative who never dies, embodied in the eyes, flesh, and bone, and the personal sense of having eyes, flesh, and bone. That sense of me and the sense of being with the buffalo is all the same. Uh-oh. We're using this word spirit. It's come through Latin, through Greek, like that. Pneuma is a word that also accompanies it. And we've come to use it very, very much. You see right here in this sense in Native America. Certainly means something that is not corporal. And whether that has a beingness or some sense perception and so forth. The word spirit does not really correspond all that well with the Native American words for what we're talking about here, But with just that in mind, we're going to keep, going with that. So I'm going to give you a piece here, starting out with my shield of that. Kadipka. Takuwakan. Yeah. This is called Lakota spirits. Wanagiata, except the spirit world. The thunderbird, Wakinyan, hidden in the clouds, a voice of thunder. Mapia, the sky, heaven. Maka, this earth, spirit of the earth, who hears our invocations. Wehohei Yanapa, spirit of the east, where the sun arrives. Tutako, the spirit of buffalo, who also is the guardian of young women. And also Petepka Takuwakan, also the spirit of the buffalo skull. Mato, the spirit of the bear, and Mika, the spirit of coyote. The spirit of wolf is Sung Manitou, and the dog spirit is Sunka. Heihaka is the elk spirit, and Kappa is the beaver spirit. Wambli, the eagle spirit, who presides over our councils. And the hawk's spirit is Gitan. Suzeka is the snake spirit, who is unknown and unseen. The powers of a cult belongs to Inaska, the frog. And Kea, the turtle, guardian of life. And Umtomi, grandmother spider, who weaves, her mysteries. Listen to the air, Wania Wakan, the holy air. It's the spirit, life, breath, and renewal. We feel it between us as a presence, while we are talking to nature as our relatives. Mita Kawe, O Yase, all are related. Oh, hey, 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 yo, hey, yo, yo, hey, yo, yo, hey, yo, yo. Oh, hey, yo, no, hey, yo, no, hey, yo, no, hey, yo, oh, 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 hey, hey.